The city's fate hangs in the balance, but our allies doubt. They won't after this.
In the heart of Athens, my beauty and my ambition were legendary. I was the living symbol of Athenian promise, but that same ambition was the seed that would destroy the city that raised me. I was not just a politician. I was an icon. My voice could move the assembly to risk everything on a single, bold decision.
The time has come. The winds of fate are in our sails. Yes, Alcibiades. Glory awaits.
In 415 BC, it was I who convinced Athens to launch the greatest invasion in its history, the Sicilian Expedition, a gamble of life or death. But on the night before we sailed, a dark crime was committed, a sacrilege that turned me from general to fugitive before the fleet ever reached open sea. Accused of defiling sacred statues, I was summoned back to stand trial. But I knew what awaited me. There was only one way to survive: betrayal.
The naval blockade must be broken through the Gulf of Argos, not by land. I propose a diversionary force at Corinth to draw their fleet north, creating the window we need.
I fled to Sparta, Athens' mortal enemy, and there, I did the unthinkable. I handed over my city's military secrets. I advised the Spartans to fortify Decilia, a strategic strike that crippled Athens and exposed the weakness of my own homeland. I, who was meant to lead Athens to victory, now guided Sparta to dominance. The irony of war has rarely been so cruel. But my life was a chain of exiles. In Sparta, I seduced the wife of King Aegeus II. Once again, I became an outcast, forced to flee. And where does the greatest traitor in Greece go next? To the Persian Empire, the enemy of all Greeks. From Athenian general, to Spartan advisor, to Persian diplomat, I had no loyalty, only to myself. And the war was far from over.
The agreement benefits us all. Trust the strategy, Commander.
I will consider it, Alcibiades.
Then we are agreed.
Using Persian influence, I negotiated my return. In 411 BC, a desperate Athenian fleet called me back, but I would not return empty-handed. I needed a victory so impossible that Athens would be forced to forgive my betrayal. The sea would be my stage, and the Spartan fleet, my prey. I, who had taught Sparta how to fight, would now dismantle it.
Ram that lead vessel. Left flank, pull back. Archers loose on the deck. We're too close, Alcibiades. No retreat. Hold the line, by the gods.
At the Battle of Cyzicus, I annihilated the Spartan navy. A total victory. I, once sentenced to death, was now the only man who could save Athens. The people, in ecstasy, hailed me as their savior. But I knew the truth. Glory is as fragile as Athenian loyalty. My triumphant return in 407 BC was Athens' last great celebration. I was appointed commander-in-chief with unlimited power. The city placed its fate in the hands of its greatest traitor.
General, a message from the council.
Also.
Thank you, soldier. You are dismissed.
No, this can't be.
But fortune in war is merciless. A minor defeat at Notium, while I was absent, was enough. My enemies seized the moment to condemn me once more. In a single heartbeat, the savior became an exile again. Athens would not forgive me a third time. Athens would fall in 404 BC, defeated by Sparta, by plague, and by its own choices. But I would not live to see my city's end.
Keep moving. We cannot stop. Do you see something? Not yet. But they are close. Faster. We must reach Phrygia by nightfall.
Exiled in Phrygia, under Persian protection, I was still hunted. By Spartans, by Athenians. I was a living threat, a military mind too dangerous to ignore. They knew there was only one way to secure peace: ensure my death. My story does not end with a heroic battle, but with a cold, calculated assassination.
Set the torch to the wood. Search the shadows. He cannot have gone far.
In 404 BC, my house was set ablaze. I tried to fight my way out, but arrows and spears struck me down. The man who defied two empires died alone on foreign soil. The flames consumed my home, but the legend of my brilliance and betrayal would live on. The Peloponnesian War was a tragedy, and I, Alcibiades, was its most brilliant and most destructive character. Athens lost the war, but it gained a story about the price of ambition, the fragility of loyalty, and the man who alone nearly changed the course of history. What would you do if you had the power to save or destroy your own nation? My story was written by those who lived it. an eternal warning about the danger of genius without virtue. The legacy of the war was the fall of a golden age. The turning point was ambition, turned to disaster. The morning was an entire city. The price of war was paid even in a currency that lost its value. But history, like me, always finds a way to return.